Oh, guys, good, you're here. I am so excited. Guess what?
August 30th, 2008.
This is Will Miller from Firaxis Games. How are we doing today?
Oh, hi.
Hey!
Hi.
Hi, Will Miller.
I hope this isn't about your podcast again.
Why, did you finally listen to it?
I don't really know what podcast this is. Can somebody fill me in?
I don't know.
Do I need to talk loud or just normal? Just talk normal.
Wait a minute. You work for Firaxis and you don't know what this podcast is? Fail.
Fail.
July 31st, 2010. At episode 50, we said look forward into 50 more. Do I really want to say looking forward to 100 more? Sure, what the heck, let's go with it. 100 more. Woo!
So
you're on the hook for at least
So, yeah,
50 more
4
years.
years from now.
4 more years.
This is Soren Johnson. I just want to congratulate the PolyCast on 200 episodes, and looking forward to 200 more.
May 24th, 2014.
Welcome to PolyCast. My name is Imran Siddiqui. I am joined by Kelly K. Mad Candy. This is the 200th episode of PolyCast. Whoever would have thought we'd get this far? I didn't. Did you, Kelly?
Absolutely not.
I was remembering the second episode, and I was thinking, well, this will last about 3 episodes, so this is a pleasant surprise.
Go team. Hooray us. Who would have thought?
Well, I'm sure that, for one, Daniel Quick didn't think so. Hi, Dan.
Hey.
See, that's all he has to say to you.
That's right. I was hoping for more, but also I remember Makalua was back there, and she was wondering if we would last until the 200th episode.
Yeah, I was wondering that more recently before we got Civ 5, and well, we also have Beyond Earth to talk about, and so we're still going to be here for a while, and it's still too early, and I still need caffeine, thanks.
I think we all need a little bit extra caffeine this morning to get up for this amazing accomplishment. And now I think, Kelly, do you want to introduce the rest of the people that we have with us?
Me and team.
Just never could pass up the opportunity to expand the trolling media. Why do you think I've lasted until episode 200?
You talk to troll people on every episode.
Yes, the mean troll is going.
Well, not every episode. Sometimes I don't make it.
And sometimes you're more the mean cheese.
Oh, yeah. That's a different kind of trolling altogether.
And Imagine.
Yes, we exist.
Kelly, can you tell us when you were on the show? How long has it been?
A long time.
2 or 3 years at least.
Way long time.
You were last even a guest on the show in Season 5, and you were a regular co-host for a few episodes in 2008.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Welcome back. 115 episode later, decided to return. Imran Siddiqui.
Woo!
The original troll.
I'm here. I actually looked this up the other week. I think my last episode was episode 87 or something like that.
85.
85. So I forgot. But to keep you updated, no, I have not played any Civ since the last time I was on the show. And I didn't play any Civ for most of the time I was on the show anyway.
Yeah, I was going to mention.
But I am still on Polton.
Oh.
So I guess I have part of PolyCast, at least the first half of the name, where it derived from in play. So I have that going, but I might play Civilization Beyond Earth. You heard it here first.
Oh, my.
Good to have Imran back and Kelly back as we celebrate 200 episodes of PolyCast. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Derek, your appearances on PolyCast did not hurt your career, thankfully.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
Trying to think of a political scandal that some politician survived, but I know nothing about politics. So I don't have anything there. But no, it's been a little while since I've been on too, and I'm very glad to be back. So thanks for inviting me, and congratulations on your 200th episode, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. Yes, you were last guest on episode 161, 2012. For people wondering, well, what did you have to do with Civ before you started your gaming career in the industry? What did you do? What are you perhaps most famous for? And that's not Christian strip poker.
That exists?
Isn't he the Fall from Heaven guy?
Yes.
Yes.
That's where I thought I knew the name from.
Yep, really, is the reason I'm in the gaming industry at all is because of the Civ franchise. Not only a gamer, I spent more time with that franchise than any other franchise I've ever played. It's my favorite and got me into modding, which got me into creating games and eventually led to me getting a job in the gaming industry working for Stardock. So it's been very influential in my life.
I just don't know who Derek is. I know who Kale is.
Kale's always been way more popular than me.
Yeah, I think some of us share that particular tendency.
Yeah, maybe.
Just wanted to mention that in terms of other past regular co-hosts who were not able to join us, that would be Lisa, QNL, and Wouter, or as Imran referred to him, Wouter.
I love him.
Just before we invite some very special guests on, I should thank the person I've been with from the beginning of the show, that is.
Once again, when Jan phrases certain things.
Because, Mackie and I have been together on the show.
Thank you for the clarification on that.
We are going to be saying goodbye to some past regular co-hosts now, so we can invite some special guests onto the show. Not to suggest that you're not special.
Yeah, that's it. Get out.
See how it is.
In the Civilization podcast, I assume that you should have the Civilization people on here. So I understand.
We are all Civilization people. Do not worry. All of us.
We're all relatively civilized. Phil a little less, but
I was referring to the game, not being civilized.
Always fun to be a part of it.
Thank you, Kelly.
Bye.
Good to see you all.
All right, get out.
Oh, and Imran, before you go,
yeah,
we promise to have topics on the next episode you appear on, so that way you can not prepare for them.
There's tradition not to prepare, Tam. What are you talking about?
I know. I think I BS'd very well when I was on the show. Or half paid attention and said that's what she said.
Hey, it worked.
That reminds me, we haven't done that enough recently. That's what she said jokes really have tapered off. We need to bring them back.
That's because I haven't been here.
Well, no, actually, you had a lasting impression on the show, however.
Oh, woohoo!
Imagine been doing your mom jokes.
Yeah, it's still a running thing. It's just not as often. Yes, you are all kinds of inspiration for direction of the show.
So now I still wonder how this thing has survived.
That's what we've been saying. That's what I said before Civ 5 was announced. How the hell are we going to keep doing this?
I'm surprised Mackie's still on. I think it was like episode 3. She was like, when can I get out of here?
Now she's gotten used to the duress. She still hasn't won this thing off yet, though.
Even more reason to listen to the post-produced version, because it'll have lots of goodies.
It'll be the first Polycast I ever listened to.
And a goodbye to Kale. Thank you for coming on and celebrating episode 200 with us.
Oh, thank you, and congratulations again. Talk to you later.
We might run a little over, but that's okay. You cannot have too much Polycast.
It's episode 200. We're allowed to run over.
We are.
I run things over all the time.
Yes, PolyCast runs over lots of things all the time.
Is it time for your mom joke? We also run things into the ground, by the way.
A hello to...
some people.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Ed Beach.
Oh, hello.
Hey, guys.
This is Dennis. Can you hear me?
Hey, Dennis. Yes, so some introductions are in order. Ed Beach from Firaxis Games, Dennis Strick from Firaxis Games.
Hello.
Hello.
Barry Cottle, hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you, sir?
Good.
Also, hello to Kevin Schultz.
Hey, how you doing? Congratulations on 200 episodes. It's very exciting.
Thank you kindly. And Dennis?
I'm here.
I feel the need suddenly to behave.
Behave?
Before we can ask you any question, we need to hear your tagline. Come on, Dennis. We need to be settling down, don't we, Dennis?
Yes, I think so.
I'm at the beach. I've been working throughout the Civ 5 project on Civ 5. I started in the base game. I was working with John Schaefer on a lot of the design, so I did a lot of the detailed design of the unique abilities of the civilizations. And then for Gods and Kings and Brave New World, I was the lead designer.
Dennis.
I'm the senior producer on the Civilization side of the building, and I started on as lead producer on Civilization 5. and I've been working on both the expansions since then, and I'm currently helping out on Beyond Earth.
So, who's on the uncivilized side of the building?
The uncivilized? Barry, you can represent the uncivilized side of the building.
That's the XCOM side of the building.
Oh, the other awesome side of the building. Got you.
Barry, more about you.
I am the director of gameplay development now, which means I don't do any actual work and haven't for a long time. I've been involved in every Civ game since Civ 2 multiplayer gold.
Oh, dating yourself, huh?
The Phyraxian that is on PolyCast for the first time. Wow, no pressure. Hopefully you will not be scarred for life.
Ooh.
Kevin Schultz.
Hello. I'm on the community side of the marketing team. I'm always on the forums every day, kind of gathering the sentiment of our fans and bringing it back to the team for feedback, as well as wearing a lot of different hats in the marketing department, doing a lot of odds and ends, and working with the 2K community team to create content for our social pages, our blogs, our forums, etc., etc. Good stuff.
He does have an impressive hat collection. I've seen it. It's nice.
And just between you and I, Kevin, just how large is your PolyCast file?
So large, let me tell you that.
So we have a number of questions for you and a very short period of time. But again, thank you all for coming onto the show and helping us celebrate 200 episodes of PolyCast. Before we talk about Civilization Beyond Earth, we did get some inquiries with regards to Civilization 5? I think that's the latest title, right? The latest base title that's come out for Civ? I don't know.
So it's a hunch.
Something like that.
Really?
Jen, I'm going to kind of mush a number of these questions together, which is, are there going to be more patches, or is there going to be another patch for Civilization 5, or is it done?
We don't have anything to discuss at this point. Obviously, we're always looking for issues and stuff that are coming up on the forums, and Kevin's keeping us informed. But nothing that we're talking about right now.
Haha, take that. So would Civilization 5 complete be complete?
What is called complete?
Shaglio and Ananendis were among those who were inquiring about Civilization 5's future. But now we're going to move on to Civilization Beyond Earth. Kraj Zen wanted to say, please reveal some more factions. Well, that's already happened.
Yep.
Time the question was asked, that was not true. So I think we can go right into the next question.
So Nikolai, wait, I think I know this person. In the case of building a new Civ, Sid uses the 1/3 old, new, and changed mantra, apparently. Quickly broken down, where do Civ BE Civs fit into this? In other words, what's kept, changed, and added compared to Civ 5?
That's a potentially very deep question. I will say on the surface that when Will and Dave really tacked this project, the lead designers on Beyond Earth, they really wanted to focus in on a couple different prongs. One is keeping it familiar enough that anybody who's played and enjoyed it run with it, but also making it its own standalone game. So when you play, a lot of the fans have pointed this out on the website, you're not going to be playing for like a culture victory or a diplomatic victory or anything like that, because they really wanted this to be more along a kind of a player versus environments, not so much you versus the other factions, although that comes into play. It's a Civ game, so it's going to. I would say the 30% that's staying the same are your typical core Civilization.
The 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 thing is specific to sequels. So when you go from Civ 3 to Civ 4, Civ 4 to Civ 5, and it was with Civ 3 that we actually started, using that. It was partially because from Civ 1 to Civ 2, just keep adding all kinds of stuff to it. And that's untenable. Like, that's not sustainable for the long-term approach to a franchise like Civilization. With Beyond Earth, I don't know that it necessarily fits into that because it's not a direct sequel to a Civ game. It sort of stands on its own as its own thing.
I think I can also add that one thing you'll see a lot of similarity in is just sort of like the mechanics down at things like way tactical combat works and the 1 unit per tile and hexes, and a lot of those kind of things are still the same. So basically the game infrastructure is the same, but in terms of all the content on top of it and bringing you into the space environment, that's going to feel really different and fresh and unique.
So to sum up, what was kept was the engine, what was changed was the lead designer, and what was added was space.
But everything's better in space.
Everything
You know
is
what,
better
though?
in
I
space.
only saw one new faction, just one, and that's Supremacy. I didn't see any other factions.
That feels natural inborn faction.
Interaction with the planet? Nukes? That interacts.
Speaking of factions, Mackie, what's our next question that we're going to ask?
What is our next question?
Pick one.
Oh, mine has an interesting question. He said a number of reviewers have stated that you would choose between nation states and corporate sponsors. And he wants to know if that meant that you can choose from the corporations and nation states for each of the factions, or if it be some corporations and some nation states, some exclusive with others.
I think maybe the press person read into it a little bit more than it was. You're choosing basically from a sponsor, and the sponsor is sometimes a corporation, like the America's ones are kind of these groups of nations that came together to sponsor the launch. So that's where you're really setting up all the customization that you want for your expedition. The sponsor is the first thing you choose. Play with the leader that you're going to play with, and so on and so forth, the cargo, etc.
Yeah, so in other words, we need better reviewers.
Well, it's not so much better reviewers, as reviewers often don't get a whole lot of time, so they're trying to bust out everything that they think they need to cover, but there's usually just not enough time just because there's so many questions and there's a lot of reviewers to talk to the team.
Yeah.
And besides, isn't it technically previewers, not read?
That's right, yes.
Because it's not done yet.
Correct.
So actually, I'm sorry, we should have asked this question after Beyond Earth was released. Our bad.
Yeah. So come back in, when's that release date?
This fall.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, nice try, but you're not getting an exact one.
Kevin is here to actually throw himself in front of any questions and take the bullet that are coming our way if it's not something that I'm supposed to answer, just so you know. He's really good at it. He's like a ninja.
He's being such a ninja that he's letting you take it all.
I'm standing behind everybody with a knife ready to kill.
He's going to cut the line.
Yeah.
Dennis, you said a magic word. Whoa. We need to get that out of the way on the show. Phil, what's our next question?
From White Russian. Basically, he says, 1 unit per tile is the biggest problem I have with Civ 5. The micromanagement of moving big armies over a large continent or even several is boring, is the biggest joy killer in the game. Often he quits the game just because he maneuvered himself into some corner and takes forever to get his army back. So he's wondering basically if there's any way that you're addressing the unit movement with the 1 unit per hex in play, essentially.
We like 1 unit per hex.
I think it's more a control question than a design question in this case, based on the way the question is phrased.
Yeah. We're always going to be looking at ways to improve and streamline and make that whole system better. And you actually saw that expand as we went through the expansions. That did a lot in terms of adding extra layers, adding separate rule sets, in terms of just managing your entire army. And whenever we see opportunities to do that, we'll keep doing it. But generally, for Beyond Earth, aside from some occasional updates, like adding the orbital layer, some stuff like that, that's still going to feel very similar to people that have played 1 unit per tile on Civ 5 with the expansions.
Kind of similar to the question about old, new, and changed, and when moving from one civilization title to another, a sequel, or in this case, otherwise. And I think if you compare what we understand, like Civilization 5, as much as a game can be understood, to something like Beyond Earth, which is up and coming, Vahuth 1978 asks, does religion play a role in the game? Leaks is like, is religion related to the affinities? And Cricket 2 is like, how is religion tied into any other game systems like Affinity?
Well, religion in this one, it's funny, the religion, when it comes up, I think Ed did an amazing job with reincorporating religion into 5 when released Gods and Kings. Religion didn't feel right for this title. This is something that the designers have toyed with in the past, but it really felt it grounded you to where you came from. So in the case of this game, Affinities is they really wanted to push. They wanted to push the whole fact that the factions are evolving and your people are evolving and things are continuing to grow in a certain direction, whether it's through stuff that you research or excavation sites, different levels of affinity. And as you go through the game and you start to change, your people start to change, your buildings start to change, your leaders look different. So they really wanted to make the affinity system be a lot of the meat of that previous system, and it feels a lot better to it. Whether it stays like that in the future, that's an unknown. But for where it's at now, I much prefer the direction that it's going to where it could have in terms of religion in the game.
Terraforming the planet, because, who asked this? Eldorad, yes. Kind of a double question. Part of Vahuth's 1978 again and Eldorad. I'm terrible with these names. But they wanted to know about terraforming the planet for the pure tree victory. Is that something that you're going to manage with workers or formers again? Or is it something that's going to start with a timer, like building a world wonder type of building, or if it is the former thing, are we going to get to do that from early on and, start raising the ocean, lowering the ocean, whatever, make more land, less land?
That particular feature is not complete yet. So I definitely don't want to be talking about it just yet, because whenever something is that much in flux in terms of just balance and making sure that something feels right.
But he did confirm that there was a feature.
Yes, I think actually what also Dennis is saying is that we are influencing what terraforming will look like in Beyond Earth right now as we're talking to him. Thank you, Dennis.
Yes, that's pretty much exactly what it was.
That is so kind of you to acknowledge. I know it's usually in the past Barry that gets what his answers taken out of context, but I'll shift it to Dennis. It's just this once.
Welcome to getting your answers taken out of context.
I gladly advocate.
We love committing Firaxians to doing things that they might not otherwise have done.
Well, I mean, Dennis said it, so now it has to be done.
Right. Could turn out to be something entirely different from however I described it. It's not because I wouldn't normally be allowed, it's just that it's in flux, that's all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Terraforming is out, thanks to PolyCast. No kidding.
It's all Becky's fault.
Band feature. Question I'm pretty interested in as well. By Laura Zale. How is the resource system going to differ from traditional Civ games? What sort of strategic luxury bonus resources will we see, and how will food, hammers, or gold, or the space equivalent, be managed?
Another broad question.
Absolutely.
Well,
the yes or no questions are no good.
I couldn't help but notice that everybody else noticed that we were only showing 2 resources on our earlier screenshots. That's primarily because resources are the kind of the lastly added just because of something pulled or they're balancing stuff in or out. We don't want to waste time on art. There's a lot more to come. Our resources are actually broken down into 2 types. You got strategic and then you've got basic. It's not so much split into food, luxury, strategic anymore. It's strategic or basic. Gold isn't our currency. It's now energy. Energy drives everything in the world. If you have energy, you're going to be doing a lot of things. If you don't have energy, you're not going to be doing much at all. Some of our resources tie directly into energy, like geothermal. If you're settling near those awesome glowing canyons, they have geothermal around them. You're going to be able to build a geothermal well and generate power. There's a lot of just power buildings, power improvements, generators that you're going to be building. Your workers have a lot more options, a lot more things that they can do than they did before.
Corner the world market. Corner it.
This is not Alpha Centauri, as much as we like to joke.
So I'm going to kind of merge a couple of these questions together, very similar. For the victory type conditions, obviously you've got your harmonies, your contact victories, and all, and the supremacy fun stuff. And then there's the tree huggers. How do these 3 interact? One of the questions kind of related to the tech web, like is it each of the 3 tech-based wins go off into the same part of the tech web, or are they separated out? And as well, how does purity versus supremacy work? Like, are they fighting each other over something other than just the win? And same for purity versus that other one.
Harmony. Yes, the hippie faction. They do go to different places on the tech web. For the one thing between supremacy and purity, you don't have to be those factions to go for those specific victories. When you go for those specific victories, purity's, for example, is the promised land. Supremacy's victory is called emancipation. You do similar technology, but the things that you have to connect into that technology are going to take you to different web. For example, Promised Land, you're still going to be building a warp gate at the end, but the whole goal is to be bringing Earth settlers through, and you have to protect these settlers, and X amount of them as they're trudging through the warp gate turn after turn, and keep them from getting wiped out by everybody else who's now going to be focusing on you because they see that you've started activating your warp gate. Supremacy, on the other hand, is building a warp gate for something very different. They're going to be training troops and sending them back through the warp gate, bring their newfound beautiful way of life back to Earth. So they all have very distinct ways of winning. Harmonies is you're going down a certain path, you eventually become one with the planet, which involves this large planetary wonder called the Mind Flower. When you activate this thing, you have to keep it activated for a certain amount of turns. If you have mind stems built in your other cities, you can actually accelerate the process. Once you actually activate it, it draws the attention of everybody else on the planet, especially if they're not affinity, because everybody believes strongly once they get down to these affinity paths that their way is the right way. Harmony believes that they should just become one with the planet through genetic engineering, learn to live on the planet that they're on. And Supremacy scoffs at that. They think, why would we do that? We should make ourselves so that we can survive anywhere. Why bind ourselves to one planet? And then Purity, aside from Harmony and Supremacy, don't understand either of those because Purity is all about the traditional aspect of being a human. We shouldn't change. Be able to basically go wherever we are, there we are. We're humans and we're proud of that. On a side note, the biggest, most some uniques for each of these are starting to come off the pipeline, and some of the Purity ones came across my desk the other day, and they're just awesome. It's hard to show you without actually drawing you a picture, so to speak. But
yeah, you can go ahead and draw a picture for us, Dennis.
Yeah, it's great.
We're not going to help us right now.
To sum up, Supremacy versus Purity is a lot about the warp gate, and Harmony versus Purity is, I don't know what, more about the planet?
Yeah, supremacy and purity are all about what they're going to do when they build this warp gate. Different philosophies. Either we go back and we liberate Earth, or Purity's promised land is to bring Earth to this newfound Eden, bring them through the other direction. Harmony doesn't want to have anything to do with either of them. They're only worried about becoming one with the planet. I guess a good parallel to that is kind of like the world that you see in Avatar, how the entire world is this living, sentient thing, and that's what the Harmony Affinity believes. It's kind of off to the side from the Purity, Supremacy, Warp Gate struggle.
Yeah, and then I could see Purity and Harmony fighting over what the planet might look like in the end, with Harmony wanting it to be nice and tree-huggy, peaceful, and Purity wanting it, wants to turn it into Earth.
Just a question to Barry. This is probably the most important question we're going to ask today. You really wanted to call the warp gates Stargates, but Take-Two Legal told you no, right?
Take-Two Legal won't let me answer that question.
Yeah, that's about what we thought.
Yeah. I know we've got a lot of questions still here that were submitted not only before the recording, but during the recording as well. And we know Phyraxian's time is limited, and so maybe we'll be able to take the questions that we didn't get answered, and maybe Phyraxians can record some answers for us so we can include in future episodes of PolyCast. To Ed, and this question is from Besser. In what ways will multiplayer differ from single player in general? Or let's even make this a more general question. Tell us about multiplayer in Beyond Earth. How is it similar to Civilization 5? How is it different to Civilization 5?
Are we still going to have an OOS party?
Okay, I think in general, we're using the same engine, so the multiplayer setup is going to seem quite familiar to people who have been playing multiplayer in Civ 5. There's going to be, a lot of different points of contention now. You're going to care both the interactions between the players, and you also see this in the diplomacy in the single player game. You guys were talking just a few minutes ago about what are the different victory types going to do to seed tension between the different affinities. Well, there are a lot of other things that come into play with Beyond Earth that are going to sow tension way before you get anywhere near the victories. Just the way everyone's treating the planet, whether you're, for instance, removing miasma or whether you're spreading miasma, that has an effect on all your neighbors. The stations that everyone's interacting with to get great trade benefits. You can do things like you can take those out and deny them to other players. So in a multiplayer game, for instance, it might be a awesome move to take that station that somebody has nearby. He has a trade route going to it. He's getting great benefits from it. And you just go and whack that station, say, sorry, you don't get that anymore. And that's going to obviously anger them. That's also an option. Even in the single player game, you can do that to the AI. The AI will definitely react to it. Orbital deployments aren't necessarily only over your territory. You can send orbital units, have effects that you want, or maybe effects that are detrimental to the players underneath those orbital units. You can send them over other people's territories. So aggressive use of orbital units is another fun, interesting mechanic that you're going to be going back and forth with, both with the AI and single player and then multiplayer. So definitely a lot of new opportunities to have some pretty interesting situations develop.
Thank you very much again to Ed and Dennis and Barry and Kevin from Firaxis Games, the developer on Civilization 5 and Beyond Earth, if you didn't know. B. Kaiko says in the chat, the aliens you contact at the end of Beyond Earth, they're going to be you guys, right? You are the aliens.
Oh, irony. Yeah. I think technically by the end of the game, being from Earth, we've already stopped being the aliens. So anybody else that comes is now aliens.
Oh, so this is going to be the XCOM squads, because XCOM takes place
That's
after
right.
BE, right? After everybody leaves Earth in BE, XCOM kicks in, and this will be the next invasion. You heard it here first. XCOM 2, invading Beyond Earth.
Well, it makes me wonder. I mean, Magma Drangu did note that the box art for Beyond Earth that's been released has an 18-plus rating, and that's from the Pan-European Game Information, or PEGI. And, Magma wants to know if we're going to get to see Lady Deirdre dancing naked through the trees. But, of course, someone just had to make another reference to Alpha Centauri for some reason. I don't know.
Because it was awesome and full of wind?
Translation from Mackie to Firaxis. Don't screw this up. What?
Well, I think I would have phrased it a little politer. Please make my space game awesome again, thanks.
Before any Firaxians go, if there's something that you want to mention specifically, about Beyond Earth, Civilization 5, how awesome PolyCast is, excuse me, I had a little touch of something there. By all means, final word from, Kevin.
I'll tell you how awesome I think you guys are. This morning I was thinking about These guys have 200 episodes. That means that they filled 200 hours worth of Civ conversation, not to mention God knows how many hours you've all played in Civ. So I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty incredible. So thank you for all the fun stuff that you guys have been doing for us.
Well, we try to give you a face from the community, so to speak. So I don't know, we're the interface between the community and you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, a face palm anyway.
My final thought is I managed to get through this with my 5-year-old Matthew in the same room with us, and there were no casualties.
Ed.
Okay, well, I'm just going to echo what Kevin was saying. Another shout out to the community. Civ 5 may have released its complete version, but we still spend quite a lot of time. It's not just Kevin out there reviewing what's going on in the forums, what's being discussed, what's being looked at, and just all the content that's up there about Beyond Earth. It's, I can tell there's a lot of excitement, and so we definitely enjoy all those interactions with the community and look forward to keeping it all going.
Exactly.
Whatever he said.
Dennis.
Yeah, I'd also like to shout out to all of our friends at Civ Fanatics and PolyCast and all the other sites that we frequent, the 2K forums. Obviously, everybody there assists greatly in making the games as awesome as they are, because we come out with a vision, and it doesn't take long before everybody manages to find every exploit that we might have had hiding around each corners and helps us to continue to make the games better. And that really couldn't happen. That back and forth couldn't happen without the kind of active fan community we have.
Kevin Lancaster is wondering, Dennis, have you taken the Supremacy Affinity? Is that why we're having such difficulty for hearing you?
Yes, I've got a direct cable into Kevin's brain, and whenever I'm saying something I'm not supposed to, he just presses this squelch button, and it automatically starts breaking up the connection.
Dennis is actually using a really good marketing tactic where when you ask us a question that we can't answer, we just pretend our chin's low and pretend like we are answering. So ask me when the release date is again. I'll give you an example.
I would like to throw out one other thing that hasn't received too much play yet, just because nobody's really been talking about it, and that is the quest system in the game is going to be awesome, and it's going to surprise a lot of people. That's not just simple quests, but the kind of quests that take you through many, many, many turns with like 5-6 different branching steps as you're going through them that result in different gameplay changing things when you come to the end of these quest lines. It's pretty cool, and it adds a lot to the narrative and evolution of the game as you're playing. But I did just want to mention that because it doesn't get talked about too often.
Dennis tells us that the quest system in Beyond Earth only available on pre-settler level.
I'm not talking about the teaches you play quest system. I'm talking about awesome, you find a mechanical man and the crashed satellite that just came flaming down next to your city kind of thing. It's awesome.
All right, well, thank you very much. And once again, that is Firaxis Games coming to talk to us about Civilization Beyond Earth.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for having us. Talk to you guys soon.
Hello everybody, this is Ozzy KP, and I'm just blown away by PolyCast doing its 200th episode. That is a hell of an achievement and something to be proud of. Congrats to Dan and everyone else. I hope the next 200 will be just as fun as the last.
During the first season, and this season only of PolyCast, the Cut Side series served as a compilation of cut moments from episode recordings. Less than half of its 38 episodes produced have been published to date. Within this 200th episode of PolyCast, this faithful albeit short-lived companion to the show is being honored with 6 mini-sodes for seasons 2 through 7. Enjoy! Season 1, 2006 to 2007.
Both Imran and I agree, although it took Imran a little while longer to agree because he had to read the script first to find out what it is we were talking about.
It wasn't in the off topic, so sue me.
I will. From Bob Jack, you have posters of Sid on the walls of your room. Moving on.
Speaking of a little creepy.
Yeah.
What's creepy about my posters?
Well, it's better than sleeping with a life-size Sid doll.
Well, you guys are some judgmental individuals, I swear. It's an action figurine, not a doll.
Don't go there.
Family show.
So you want some culture? I get you some culture.
Don't go there.
Why would I spend all the time doing that if we weren't going to do something with it? Which I hoped would get some people saying, not so dead after all, instead of, what? Not dead after all? Come on!
Okay, that was pretty much our show for this week. Guys, what did we think of this week's show? Was it interesting? I thought it was kind of nice.
Better?
Yeah, we're getting better at it.
Better all the time.
Season 2, 2008. Shulo81, who said it is because of Sid that I am a gamer. I would say for me, it's because of Sid that I am still a gamer. Sid wasn't actually the first computer game I played. I know.
What was the first one that you played, Dan?
One of the earlier King's Quest. But that was in the mid-'80s, so it's okay. Civ didn't exist yet from Sid, so I'm okay.
Civ didn't exist yet. I'm sure he's happy to know that.
What about Imran? What did you play first?
What did I play? Well, I know I didn't play Civ first because I didn't even play Civ 1. I read about Civ 2. Civ 1 came out in 91?
Yeah.
I was 11 then.
Well, I was younger than that a little bit, but see, Imran hasn't even played Civ yet, so I don't think,
I think the first one was probably SimCity.
I played one of the Ultimas, but it was before Civ 2, so I'm also forgiven.
Does Commodore 64 count?
Oh, wait, that's true.
All right, well then, Summer Games, I guess.
Okay, I take that back. It was some other RPG for the Commodore. I forgot about that. I used to play it over at my cousin's during the summer.
Season 3, 2009.
Worst military disaster when things go really wrong.
Okay, when the shit hits the fan.
I still remember the games where, I'm losing to an AI going for space and nukes weren't banned. That's the worst thing ever. If they don't have a coastal capital, you're probably going to lose. There's just so many TAC nukes they can throw on you. And if you land on their landmass, they have no qualms about nuking their own territory to destroy your stack or stacks. Like, I've never successfully stopped a launched spaceship against an inland capital if the AI has nukes. Because even if you do a lot of damage with your own nukes, you can't get there. They'll nuke you back and kill whatever units in their territory. So that's by far my worst disaster. I almost lost 50 units to that. It was the only time the AI nuked me well, but it's kind of expected.
In one of my games, I was Babylon, and I ended up dying, so that was kind of historically accurate.
Actually, to that end, Paradigm Shifter said, I died after 80 years. Season 4, 2010.
Does the AI care if it wins? Zero Sum, he's asking, because the AI, it only cared if he won, not if they won. Basically, they would sacrifice any attempts at actually winning in order to crush him.
Yeah, no, the AI does not care. The AI is just coded to throw some dice, and when it gets the result, it makes the decision based on the thrown dice. It really doesn't recognize upcoming victory conditions very well and prevent them, not for the human or for other AIs.
I think you can really see this, how much the AI really does not care. If you go into the victory conditions and start disabling some.
Yeah, I don't think it plays differently based on that. In fact, if you play Always Peace, it still spams military.
Maybe it thinks it helps keep the Always Peace by spamming military units so that, if you tried, you would lose.
I think the only conclusion you can really come to is the AI is pretty stupid, but I think we already kind of knew that.
I think we would all like it if the AI did care if it won. However we wanted to measure that. Of course, I say that, and I'm sure I'm making all the programmers out there just shake their fists at me. It would be nice, certainly if it would take at least into account victory condition point. But, hey, you don't even need to care if you win if you're still having fun. AIs just want to have fun. Season 5, 2011.
So I'd at least like to see the AI follow some kind of AI script or something where it tries to win consistently, not just one AI, but all 6 or however many you're playing with.
Well, in theory, that's what they tried.
Not unless you mod the game. But then that could be enough for any argument on this show, I guess.
I said 200 strength.
Just start trolling threads. But you can't do that. Not unless you mod it. Not unless you mod it. Not unless you mod it.
Can't do anything unless you mod it.
Oh, I think I need a disclaimer here. PolyCast does not endorse what I just said. That was just my own silly rant.
He was asking, could something be written in the code that penalizes players for unsportsmanlike behavior? I never thought of myself as a sportsman playing Civ, but apparently we can be sportsmanly when we're playing multiplayer.
Hey, I have a 20% bad review rate on Xbox Live for being unsporting. I'm not sure what that's about.
Really? You're we have an unsportsmanlike behavior exhibiting person in this.
Well, I gotta say that surprises me, Phil. It's only 20%.
Yeah, me too. I'm really like into people sometimes, so I am surprised it's so low.
Season 6, 2012.
How did you find the show?
Off of Civ Fanatics when you guys posted it on the front page.
If there was one thing that you would like to see changed on the show, what would that be?
Let's see. You guys talk a lot about Civ 5, but that's, duh, because that's the current game. But I would love to hear a little bit more commentary about all the games in general, because, it is a civilization strategy podcast. I'm always looking out for, the section where you guys talk about Civ 4 or Civ 3 once in a blue moon.
Of course, the correct answer is that you wanted us to record more shows, but... I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Dan.
Well, I certainly enjoy Civ 3 more than I did Civ 5, so,
And our last question for you here is, what is your favorite part about the show?
My favorite part about the show, I always love the forum talk, because you guys go into the forums, find what people are talking about, and then you expound upon it and discuss it very in-depth and very wisely and safely.
Season 7, 2013.
Are you on here basically every episode, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
every other week we'll do an episode, and it's rare that I miss them, occasionally, but, usually not.
Yeah, so you guys got a solid 3 people or so?
4, actually. Mackie just had to leave early.
Mackie is okay, she is okay.
Midge and Mackie, me, and then, of course, Dan are the regulars.
Nice. I wonder how Dan Q found me. I'm going to ask him that right now.
Yeah, I actually don't know his entire methodology myself. I think he just fishes for people on the forum. He'll come up with an interesting topic at some point. But there might be more to it than that, I don't know.
So, since you said it, you could say that resistance was futile. Okay, so...
Oh, just crowbar that in there?
Let me make another Star Trek reference, Dan says.
I'm trying to get my girlfriend into playing, but she's more interested in Call of Duty.
It's not something I thought I would hear today. That's interesting.
Well.
Opposites attract, so that's fine.
Yeah. Hi, this is Astrio, aka Thorburn. Congratulations to the PolyCast team on the 200th episode. Here's to another 200 and beyond. Keep on siving.
Saying hello to Jake Apta. I think I pronounced that properly. Hey, welcome back.
Hey guys, Civ 5 not getting another patch. I'm sad.
No, they didn't say that.
No, they did not say that specifically.
They didn't say it was, but they didn't say it wasn't.
Oh boy, here
the
we go.
legal
with
team
technicalities.
denied them from answering that question.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
that
that's
brain
good. That's
thing
better
that
than I
Kevin was
thought.
doing.
Hello to Martin Alvito.
Hey, gang.
Jake was a guest earlier this season, season 8. Martin was a guest twice in seasons 5 and 6, so it's been a while. Again, welcome back.
Thank you.
Was it really season 6?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I've been on the show too long.
Yeah. Welcome to that feeling.
Yeah, no kidding.
You two are too old, sir. Hello to Jason, Mega Bears fan.
Greetings, everyone.
Oh,
Greetings.
We use so much of his content off his site now.
Yeah.
Every other episode, hey, let's talk about another civilization he's profiled.
Jason has been a guest a couple of times, last season as well as season 6.
Yes, I have, and I'm very glad that I didn't have to butcher another intro this time.
No, we had Imran for that.
Oh. So he's definitely not coming back for episode 300 after that.
No way, it was awesome.
One other person who was also a past regular co-host on the show didn't mention that they were or were not going to be here, but I do see that they are online now. Hello, Annalee.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome back to PolyCast.
Thanks. I'm so sorry I missed my time. It never connected. It was 11 o'clock for me for some reason.
That's okay. We ran over with the Phyrexians. So.
Yeah.
Annalee has been a guest 4 times, but more significantly, a regular co-host on 25 episodes.
Was that all it was? No,
It's no longer is what she's saying. What?
Right.
So I'm going to start with Jake here. Is there anything that you wanted to say, questions to ask us here on PolyCast?
Well, I don't know if you talked about this yet, but how does it feel to have 200 episodes? It's been 200 hours of discussion, and probably more in terms of recording.
Yeah, double
Considering how long the early episodes were, it's been a lot more than 200 hours.
Those episodes were like 3 hours long.
3 hours of recording to come down to like an hour and a half published. God.
Yeah.
Why do I get up and do this every other Saturday? I still don't know sometimes.
Yeah, I ask that too, but eventually you kind of become numb to it. I think that those of us who have been on here long enough have realized that as long as you don't think about it, you just keep going, you know? And it gets numb, and then it's awesome all the same.
So
And I suppose it's only 2 hours of my Saturday or something, you know? It's not like I can't go do things afterwards.
Or during. Not playing games and posting on forums and doing PolyCast. No, that would never happen.
We don't multitask around here. No.
No.
Why would you do that? That seems bad.
PolyCast episode recordings are longer than episodes, although it has been better since we went to the live format. It does keep us a little more focused than we used to be when we used to pre-record shows.
Oh, ramble and ramble and ramble and shut up already.
But it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And, of course, the person who has spent most time on PolyCast, more than anybody, it would be me for some reason. The hours editing this show, yeah, I stopped counting when I started to get lightheaded. And
yeah, see, that's what happens is the rest of us get to leave and go about our daily Saturday thing. And then, well, I don't know if Dan edits on Saturdays, but, you know, then Dan has to spend another 2 or 3 hours editing, which is why he was so happy for the live format, because it's just bloop.
Yeah, it cuts down on the editing burden immensely. I haven't done editing for PolyCast, but I have, of course, done some audio and video editing. And dealing with, like, 5 streams or more versus just one audio is a big difference.
Combine all of our audios together and then edit that and then edit down for the content. And, oh, my God, Dan, how did you live that long? And not give up on this.
It's a medical mystery. I don't know. I think a lot of it was drive, and this might sound a little weird, but I think we should thank a lot of our detractors who said, what is this? No one's going to listen to this. This is stupid. And it was just kind of a challenge to say...
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. We're going to do this. We've built an audience. We continue to grow an audience. And like I said, if this is of interest to you, then listen in. Great. If not, that's fine. You can just ignore us like we're now going to ignore you. Martin, any questions or comments here on episode 200?
I'm just really excited for you guys, particularly for you since you've gone to a live format, because it was usually like 3 days before the recording came out, so I bet you would spend a lot more than 2 or 3 hours sitting there editing through all that. But no, these days we've started up a company doing independent game development, and so I'm probably going to be around quite a bit around when Beyond Earth hits, both playing and also annoyingly cross-promoting our first product. But
well, if you're going to... Hey, if you're going to annoyingly promote your product, say the name of it or something. I mean, don't leave us hanging here.
Yeah, well, we haven't settled on what the final title is going to be. The working title is something boring, Alien Escape, but we haven't settled on exactly what we're going to go with there. We haven't had that, brilliant moment of inspiration of, oh yeah, this is what we call it. But it's basically going to be kind of a puzzle game where you're trying to get through a maze and get past a bunch of traps with this happy, fun little alien doohickey that you keep adding functions to as you go through the game.
Thank you. And Jason, questions, comments here on episode 200?
Just first of all, congratulations on 200 episodes, and keep up the good work, guys. I hope you're going to be around for a lot longer with Beyond Earth coming out. I guess my biggest thing is, as you guys have discussed, I've been releasing a series of strategy blogs related to all the different civilizations in Brave New World. They're rapidly eclipsing all of my other posts in visits and popularity and comments and stuff like that, and you guys have been a big part of that. So thank you very much for promoting those, and I hope to keep delivering those to you. Right now I'm neck deep in Zulu Impi, so that should be coming soon. Definitely looking forward to Beyond Earth. I never really spent much time with Alpha Centauri. I played it for like a few weeks and then went back to Civ and never kind of went back to it. I definitely intend to, or would like to possibly write some strategies and stuff like that.
Anna Lee, questions, comments, complaints? I don't know why I just asked you about complaints, but anyway, okay.
I have a complaint. No, I don't have any questions per se, but I think it's pretty cool that you were able to survive after I left the show. Kudos for that. Just kidding.
No, I think the question is, it's amazing Mackie was able to survive after you left the show.
Yeah, especially that we have the running joke about me being the only one on the internet. I'm not throwing voices. There's another one here right now. Thank you.
Nobody believes you.
We had some good times, that's for sure. Before my job started having me work on Saturdays, every Saturday. I still love it. Every once in a while, I'm like, oh, PolyCast, I remember that. I think it's great you guys are still going. It's fun that it's been so many years.
Well, thank you all again for being on episode 200. We're going to say goodbye to you now, and hopefully we'll be able to have you, all of you, as well as our other guests that we're having on the show on a full episode so we can talk to you more and talk to you about Civ. So Jake, Martin, Jason, and Annalie, thank you all.
Thanks for having us back.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Look forward to talking to you guys again.
We're now saying hello to one of our frequent guest co-hosts, a regular player on Turncast, and now one of the newest Modcast regular co-hosts. It's Alpha Shard.
Hello, guys.
What's up?
Scott has been a guest 6 times on the show. Woo-hoo. Most recently, earlier this season, but he's been on seasons 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. Wow.
He's been around a while.
Yep. So the Stockholm Syndrome has set in.
Shard has learned the ways of trolling over the years as well. I am proud.
Phil has an apprentice.
I've had good teachers.
Question, comment about being here on episode 200, Scott?
It's pretty damn awesome that we've gotten this far, and it's really cool.
All right, thank you. We're essentially getting into guests who have been on at least 2 episodes. We used to speculate on PolyCast, how do we ever have any return guests on this show? I don't really think you have to answer the question as so much point to the evidence that we do have return guests, and that is enough. All right, so Scott, you're the only one from your time block on the call right now, so entertain us.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys.
I guess I have to start singing. I can't. That's the only thing I can
No. No singing.
Well, I guess I'd like to talk about Beyond Earth then, because I'm looking forward to that game. From what I've read so far, it sounds like it's going to be good. I like the idea of going to an alien planet and you're accompanied apparently by other coalitions from Earth and you're competing to take over this planet, and that's really cool. And it's kind of like having Alpha Centauri without actually having Alpha Centauri.
Yes, and someplace wouldn't release the awesome name. Beyond Earth is good.
John, Canuck Soldier Rider, hello.
Hello there. How's everyone today?
Doing good.
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, you are a 6-time guest, having been on seasons 2 through 7.
Well, someone objects.
Yeah,
never heard dull moments.
Yeah, sorry about that. My grandson wants to get in on the show here too.
It's never too early to teach him Civ.
It's true. I agree.
Question, comment about 200 episodes of PolyCast.
It's great to see PolyCast going for its 200th episode, and I hope to be invited back on some regular shows as well.
Yes, because this is definitely irregular. This person has only been a 1-time guest so far on season 6. It's B. Kaiko. Hello, sir.
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
Welcome to episode 200 of PolyCast. Do you have any questions or comments for our potentially dozens and dozens of listeners?
Well, I just wanted to add my voice to the chorus of folks who are congratulating you on getting to 200 episodes. I know I look forward every week to having a new PolyCast arrive on my podcast app on my iPhone. It is definitely appreciated, and I hope everybody understands the level of work that you put into this podcast and that the community just really loves you guys. Mackie, I have a question for you.
Okay.
When you play Civilization Beyond Earth, are you going to play as a coffee corporation? And if so, do the caffeinated people of Mackey's corporation have to go purity, harmony, or supremacy?
Well, you know, the first game I'm probably going to end up doing Harmony just because I love the planet hugging so much in the
So
previous
you're
game.
going to find new coffee beans.
Yes, alien coffee. Even better.
And then I will invade her and take all
It's
her
only
stuff.
slightly oozy, people.
It has that nice viscousness to it.
Don't mind the mind slug.
No.
That's what gives it its
We
high.
can't guarantee that's 100% mind slug free. No, it's 99% mind slug free.
But, if you're not going to take chances, then, what are you living for?
Why did you come to Planet if you didn't feel like taking a chance on something?
You're one with the mind slug. That's how you're getting your energy from it. I don't see what the problem is.
That and caffeine.
Oh, there's always caffeine.
Calling another past guest on the show. I had one appearance on season 7. Hello, Travis.
Hello.
Wild Weasel, again, he was a guest on an episode last season. Welcome back onto the show.
Thank you.
This doesn't actually count as a return appearance, by the way. This doesn't count in your appearance total. Just like people who are on episode 100, it doesn't count on your appearance total. I'm sorry. This is a non-scoring polycast.
All right, I'll adjust my stats likewise.
Is it a non-scoring podcast for the host, too?
Mackie says the cutest things sometimes. So, questions, comments here on episode 200, Travis?
Well, I actually haven't been listening in, so I'm probably just repeating what everyone's been saying for the last hour. Brave New World's a lot of fun. Looking forward to Beyond Earth later this year. Keep on siving.
ECAT2468, hello.
Hello.
Guest on a season 7 episode of PolyCast, and your microphone sounds much, much better. I know that's...
PolyCast really got to 200 episodes? That's a lot.
I'm still asking myself that too, but here we are.
We're also going to say hello to the Chris D, who is a 2-time guest on the show so far, season 7 and season 8. Hello, Chris.
I love that you left me towards the end just so you could keep my accent from the viewers on listening on the live stream to the very end when people have probably already, clicked away or something.
And also saying hello to a first-time guest from earlier this season on PolyCast. It's Talcove. Hello.
Hey.
Who just complained in the chat, but he's not calling me.
I feel so invited and included now. Yay.
Chris, question, comments about being on the 200th episode of this show?
Well, at least we finally made it instead of last time when it was so close to it.
Trevor.
When I was first on as a guest co-host, I never thought you would get to 200 episodes, but here you are.
Hey, when we first started this, we never thought we'd get to 200 episodes.
When you first started, did you ever think you'd even make it to 10?
I wasn't sure. It was really awkward.
Yeah, it was the summer of 2006, and this was a replacement for a show where I just monologued and read Civilization news. PolyCast really started to gain traction in our second season as we started to promote the show more. We started having more and more guests, including developers from Firaxis Games and publisher 2K Games and notable people in the community. And then we started having some contests, and people started to realize that they could listen to the show not so much for information, although we do offer that as well, but for the personalities and the banter and the fun. We've been told time and time again, which of course inflates our ego, and we're fine with that it sounds like we're actually enjoying what we're talking about. And it's true. If we did not enjoy Civ, if we did not enjoy talking to each other about Civ or other things, we would not be doing this because the pay still sucks.
If we
have
didn't
to
enjoy,
divide by 0.
if we didn't enjoy talking to each other about Civ, Turncast would not be co-op-ish. It wouldn't even be co-op at all.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. PolyCast, it just isn't PolyCast. It started off with one podcast. By the way, for people listening wondering, PolyCast initially was the official podcast of Apolton Civilization site. I was one of the co-founders of Apolton, and Poly is the common nickname for Apolton. I tried for years for people to say, no, it's Apolton CS, it's ACS, stop calling it Poly. And of course, the more I said that, the more it just became Poly. And I've learned to embrace that myself, so that's why the show is called PolyCast. And even though I'm not a part of the Apolton staff or administration, I left in 2009, continued the show, continued with the name PolyCast with the new ownership's blessing. We have continued to grow. You know, when PolyCast first came out, we were waiting for the release of the first Civilization 4 expansion pack. So that is how old we are. There are probably people playing Civ that were not alive when we started this show. Let that sink in.
You're saying there's 8-year-olds playing Civ?
I was going to say, that would be a bit creepy. Unless they're playing Civ on like iOS or something on their iPhones that their daddies are buying for them.
We had Warlords come out, and then Beyond the Sword for Civilization 4. We had Civilization Revolution. We saw the rise and fall of Civilization World, the release of Civilization 5, and Gods and Kings, and Brave New World, and now Civilization Beyond Earth. And there have been 4 spin-off shows of PolyCast, because we started talking about modding on PolyCast, and we didn't do that great a job with it, so there became Modcast. We started talking about Civilization Revolution, but we didn't really do that great job with it, so there became Revcast dedicated to it. And then we had Turncast for cooperative Civilization multiplayer. That show's still ongoing. Modcast is getting back into production. We had Civcast for Civilization World, and hoping Civcast will return when Civilization Online from XL Game Service is supposed to be later this year. So there has been a lot that's been added to the PolyCast family since we started 8 years ago, and the feedback has been most appreciated from everybody. And I always enjoy emails getting from new listeners or people who have been listening for years, just checking in, saying they're still enjoying the show. I have a personal favorite of those messages that I get saying, hey, I just found your show, went back and listened through your archive. And someone had said in the chat is like Dan calling every past co-host on this show. And I think, Chris, you had responded probably.
Yeah.
We would not be able to do that in 2 hours.
Aw.
There have been more than 150 people on this show, and that is excluding the original 4 co-hosts.
Ooh, the originals.
The only originals are Mackie and I that are still regular co-hosts on this show.
You've been together for so long.
Oh, can we stop with that?
Civilization 4 colonization as well. And there was also Civilization 4 War of Two Cities. So we have covered a lot on this show, and we are continuing to cover a lot on this show. And we thank all of our listeners, past and present, and guest co-hosts past and present. There were quite a few who unfortunately could not join us. Thank you, ECAT, again for being here on episode 200 of the show.
Yeah. With a better microphone.
Yeah, it's so enthusiastic.
Yeah. You sounded like you suffered an internal injury or something. You might get that looked at. Goodbye to you.
All right, bye.
Also, a goodbye to Chris. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Maybe if I keep quiet, he'll forget I'm on the call.
No, Dan is a pretty good man, Hammer. We know about this from when we have Turncast. And, oh, you're not playing tonight? Bye. Clonk.
Yep.
My favorite moments is anytime Dan or Majing cusses. It's not as funny when I cuss, but it's really funny when they cuss.
It doesn't happen often, especially with Dan.
Uh-huh.
What? I don't cuss. Not on PolyCast.
Turncast.
On Turncast.
Yeah, well.
Which is a subcast of PolyCast.
Exactly.
It's part of the PolyCast family.
Moments from the PolyCast Cooperative Civilization multiplayer experience, Turncast.
I hope where I'm about to put the city isn't too close to Grim.
It's too close. Wait, where is it?
He just assumed.
Can you see La Caruna?
Nope. Hey, La Caruna.
It's really
Don't ever see
scary,
La.
Dan. I was thinking the same thing when you said that.
Nice.
I'm gonna settle it next turn, but... Oh, hello, Gandhi settler. I was here first. Now go away.
So how's the remaining Babylonian city coming?
One more turn.
New episodes return this summer. The PolyCast.net.
Hi, this is Jonah Falcon from GamingPodcast.net. Now, even though I've only done the Polycast a few times, as a matter of fact, if I count it, it's like 3 times, not including a game in which we actually played and live streamed that.
I do miss doing the Turncast lives. Those were, I don't know, much more spirited.
Well, you should come back.
I don't think that's the point.
I think you should come back.
Whoa. Crazy.
Well, either that or let me take over broadcasting duties on Turncast Live. I would be open to doing that.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't think that there's a problem with that. Oh, it's Dan's show.
It's Dan's show.
Well, I say Spirited. I suppose I should say Spirited for the first half, and then just hilariously exhausted bad the last half.
But I've actually been associated with Dan all the way back to Apollyon.
I know everybody's name, and I know everybody's voice from listening to the previous shows.
You don't listen to the shows?
Wait, what?
I believe back when Civilization 4 hadn't come out. Now, he's also appeared on Gaming Podcast more than a few times. And this is how I found out that both PolyCast and Gaming Podcast shared a lot of viewers, one of which is AlphaShard. As for the live stream game, I think that's the first time I've ever played Civ 5 and lost my temper so much that I just immediately beat down a Civilization to a fine green paste.
You won't think less of me for blaming the living shit out of you, I presume.
I feel particularly proud, although I think Dan may have been disturbed by my transformation into the Hulk at the time.
Silence.
Nice. Well, I don't know. I like that. Silence means we like it.
Silence means we don't have an immediate what the hell reaction.
We're taking it in.
Chances are most people think like people.
Yeah.
And respond in like manner.
People think like people. Wow.
Oh, yeah. You can't get more pointed than that.
You've totally blown my mind with your latent simplicity.
Oh, yeah. Let me help you pick up the pieces.
Anyways, congratulations on the milestone, and hope you do 200 more episodes of the PolyCast.
Welcome to Modcast. I'm Rob, R8XFT.
AlphaShard, Scott.
So it's just us two today, I think, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How did you get into modding then?
Do you find it easier to mod in Civ 5, or same, or harder? Makes it very, and here's a word that Dan hates, synergistic.
Synergistic, right, okay.
Modcast, Season 6.
I use the word synergy a lot, but I've not heard synergistic.
Begins summer 2014. The Polycast.net. I think we have some Civilization 5 complete codes.
It's shiny time.
Welcome back, my son. I've missed you. Have the men begun setting up the encampment?
Yes, Father.
Good. This is lush, fertile land. I think we can make a home here.
I agree. We will do well in this place.
Come, sit with me and listen. I've had a dream of our people's future. It was glorious.
So, Mackie, what question do you want to ask us to give away a copy of Civilization 5 Complete, a $50 value courtesy for Axis Games?
Oh, God, you want me to make up a question on the spot?
What should be the name of Mackie's Coffee Corporation?
I'm stealing his question. What is a good name for my coffee corporation / civilization when I play Beyond Earth? Remember, it's Coffee and Harmony.
Here is Phil's question.
Picture a scenario where you're nuking down population to win a diplomatic victory, right? So I want the picture that best embodies that kind of evil act in a Civilization game.
Imagine, what is your question?
I don't know. I'm just wondering why there's no thread on CFC telling people what happened in the PolyCast episode, because there usually is when there's live streams, and we got them to say some things. And there's just no thread about it. It's weird. All right, so the first person to start a thread on about what Firaxis has talked about in this episode, and you actually have to put info into it.
For the copy from me, again for Civilization 5 Complete, I'm going to actually make this a Polycast-related question. Of course, what are you most thankful for about Polycast? For the fifth and final code, let's have a look at the future. Another Polycast-related question, which is, we've done 200 episodes of Polycast. Where do you see Polycast in the next 200 episodes?
I saw our people spreading throughout the land and across the oceans, expanding our kingdom and discovering new people and great riches in faraway lands. We built wondrous monuments honoring the gods, which reached up to brush the very fabric of the heavens. And then I saw a vast city with great buildings of stone, each more magnificent than the last.
I've had a chance to go through the responses.
Do we have any funny responses?
Mackie, have you chosen your recipient?
Yes, somebody made a funny name, so therefore.
What about you, Imagine?
I think I can pick a winner, sort of. None of these were exceedingly detailed. People weren't writing things down, which worries me. They weren't writing everything that was said down. It's like they can listen to it later. But yeah, I could probably come up with one.
I like the suggestion of Harma Coffee by LG Seek.
Wait. Mackie gave the prize to the person who said Harmony plus coffee when after Mackie said Harmony plus coffee?
Well,
Is that how we were going with this?
Yes, that. But I did say to try and put Harmony and coffee in there, but he put it together in a good way.
Oh.
I am giving the award to Lord Mordain because he suggested a cat with a maniacal grin. And during the show, I went ahead and did an image search for that. And while I have seen some disturbing things, certainly that doesn't cross the threshold of the disturbing things I've observed in my life. But there are, in fact, some cats with maniacal grins that I think do reasonably well represent the evil avatar that could be used in such a scenario. So, congratulations, Lord Mordain.
Not as many answers as I would expect, given that Fraxis went and said a lot of stuff on the show. But we did get a few. Renge managed to actually provide information first, so I'm going to go with that one.
What was it that Renge said specifically from what Fraxis said?
Oh, yes.
That you selected anyway.
Talked about the affinity-based victory conditions involve, waiting for something to happen. So for Harmony, he actually talked about the World Wonder and wait for it to work for a bit. Building a certain thing in your cities makes it faster. So he actually paid attention when they were talking about that. Purity, he followed on with more what was actually said by these guys this time rather than what was just the random previews. Of course, the aliens for the contact victory will be the Phyraxians, undeniable proof, because they didn't deny it. And also, using orbital layers to mess with our enemies. And, of course, terraforming confirmed. I don't think anybody really got all of it, but he got a sufficient amount that I'm willing to give it to him.
For me, the answer I'm most thankful for PolyCast helping me get through long commutes goes to Sirius 77. The next one, final question. Mr. Sumi said, PolyCast 400. The big news is Alpha Centauri 2, Mindworm Boogaloo.
Boogaloo.
I really like that. Again, I thank you to Firaxis Games providing these copies to us to give away as part of our celebration.
The streets were filled with our people in numbers beyond counting. There was suffering as well, great and terrible, brought about by the torments of war. But we were strong, and we brought victory to our people. There my dream ended, and my story as well. For it has been revealed to me that it is your future I dreamed of, not mine. The fate of our people is now in your hands. I envy you, my boy. Your decisions will shape history itself. Go now, my son, with my blessing, and decide your future.
The sequel, in a way, to I Disagree, Sire from episode 100, where I took all of the Civilization 2 advisors and I turned it into a conversation between them. I took the Civilization 5 advisors and managed to generate a conversation. It's called In This Lesson.
I am your economic advisor. I'll teach you how cities work, how to found new cities, and where the best places are to build them.
I'm your foreign advisor. We'll learn the basics of diplomacy with other civilizations and city-states.
I'm your military advisor. I'll teach you how to stomp out barbarians and destroy their camps, and how to conquer an enemy civilization's city.
I am your science advisor. I'll teach you how to move your units around the map. In the process, you'll discover ancient ruins, natural wonders, and whole new continents.
This is a good place to found a city. Food and resources are plentiful here.
We have succeeded. Oh, happy day.
Our treasury is depleted and we need new sources of gold.
Consider sending your warrior out to explore new territory.
You should seriously consider this. The art of combat is important to learn even for the most peaceful leader.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Now this is a happy circumstance. Ancient ruins hold secrets that may advance our civilization.
Interesting. This could lead to a breakthrough. Technology is science put to use. We should investigate this.
You may want to consider this.
Excuse me, I have a bad feeling about this.
Now this is a happy circumstance. The sun shines brightly on our lands. You may find this to be useful. Our treasury has grown, and we have money to spend.
Aha! Fortune smiles broadly on us.
Oh, happy day.
Wonderful! The sun shines brightly on our lands.
I have some information that may be of use. The land near your city could be made more productive. Build a worker to improve your territory.
Here is something that may be helpful.
Excuse me.
This situation requires decisive action.
Under your command, your workers will build trade routes to collect gold, construct improvements to help your cities grow, build things quicker, and improve resources to make our people happier.
You may want to consider this.
We have succeeded. We have a worker, but have not improved any tiles yet. The worker can improve tiles in our territory.
You should seriously consider this.
Order your worker to construct an improvement on a tile to gain an economic benefit.
If I may speak freely, things are not going well. We have no combat units defending our territory. It is a dangerous world, and we are vulnerable to attack.
These are dire times. You may want to consider this.
Workers are defenseless. It may be best to reconsider our strategy. We use extreme caution when moving them outside our borders.
Excuse me, we may be able to manage this more efficiently. Our capital city has finished building a unit.
Now, this is a happy circumstance. You now have a ranged unit. Clever move.
Our smart moves have been paying dividends.
Oh, happy day. One of your combat units is near an enemy unit.
If I may interrupt, I have a bad feeling about this.
You need to know this. The enemy unit you are near is fortified. This attack will damage both sides evenly.
Things are not going well.
We have a unit that is on the verge of being destroyed.
You need to know this.
You may want to reconsider this attack. We have succeeded, thanks to our military victories. A great general has come forth. The sun shines brightly on our lands.
Fascinating. We have succeeded.
I think we have enough workers for the moment.
You have a unit that hasn't moved for a while.
Our workers are idle. You may want to construct something else. Our capital has grown into a bustling city. It may be time to build a settler to found another.
Clever move. We have succeeded.
Now this is a happy circumstance. The sun shines brightly on our lands.
This situation requires decisive action. You can found a new city with your settler, move to a fertile location, and found a new city.
If I may interrupt, your settler is alone outside your borders and could be captured.
You may want to consider this.
You need to know this. Your people are no longer happy. An unhappy populace will not grow as fast as a content one. If you wish to make your citizens happier, Order your workers to build improvements on resources.
I have some information that may be of use. Natural wonders are hidden around the world. Discovering them makes your civilization happier.
Knowing this, we may want to change our tactics.
You should found your city soon.
You should seriously consider this.
Our treasury is depleted, and we need new sources of gold. This is a good place to found a city. Workboats allow you to improve fish and whale resources off your coast.
Having a strong navy is the only way to defend and explore the oceans around us.
Excuse me. I have some information that may be of use. You have discovered a city-state. A city-state has requested your assistance. Things are not going well.
This situation requires decisive action.
Here is something that may be helpful. This is a complicated subject with a great deal of nuance. City-states are small countries that are not competing to win the game. You may interact with them diplomatically, or you may go to war with them.
I have some information that may be of use. Thanks to your research, all of your future military units will possess the Embark promotion and can move across the water. You should seriously consider this.
Great Scott! This situation requires decisive action. Here are some more tactics for you to consider. We could push this situation to our advantage.
If I may interrupt, there is more than one way to become the greatest civilization and win the game.
I have some information that may be of use. You can upgrade obsolete units, turning them into more powerful units by spending gold.
If I may interrupt, things are not going well. We are spending all of our money on maintenance. You can spend money in a number of ways. You should seriously consider this.
Cities can be tough to capture. Like military units can defend against attackers. Cities can bombard besiegers. Siege units are excellent at knocking out cities from range.
I have a bad feeling about this.
This may affect our diplomatic standing. You need to know this.
We failed.
We are now inviting even more past guests onto this show.
Hello!
Christopher Blauer-Fackel was a guest on a Season 7 episode last year, so welcome back onto the show.
Thanks.
Questions, comments about us being at 200 episodes? What is up with that, anyway?
It's pretty freaking awesome. You guys have a lot of staying power. I'm impressed.
I am so glad Imran is still not calling.
What she said.
You're welcome.
I'll show you staying power.
Yeah.
Canis Albinus, you too are on episode 200 of the show. Amazing, isn't it?
It doesn't amaze me, actually.
It doesn't.
Will Sport.
I know I was there.
Photographer, I mean, come on.
It amazes you all, for crying out loud. How many episodes is it going to take to amaze you? Jeepers. No, I'm kidding.
No, it doesn't amaze me that you're still going because you've been going so long, the inertia would be hard to overcome.
Here first, PolyCast powered by sheer inertia.
Speaking of inertia, Fuzzy Fractal 42. Hey,
hello. How are you guys doing?
How's
so
our fuzzy little
here.
princess?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, poor Fuzzy.
The nickname will never die.
I thought about saying it, but it really fell on Magin to say it. As far as
it's his responsibility.
So, have you ever been introduced, by the way, as inertia?
Have I been introduced as inertia?
Other than right now.
No.
Is this the first time you've been introduced as inertia? I'll bet it was.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Speaking of inertia,
everyone knows PolyCast is infamous for its segues. So,
and not those little things you try to ride around on if you're a hipster.
Are you sure you're not talking about Notorious?
I was just going to say, you say segues, I say shoehorns, but...
Well, they're not mutually exclusive now, are they? No. We don't need to limit ourselves.
Although we mostly limit ourselves to shoehorn segues, mostly.
And also hello to Exius, a guest from earlier this season. I pronounced that correctly, didn't I?
I don't know. We'll just go with it.
Welcome to episode 200.
Woo!
Okay, be more excited next time. Try it again.
Yay!
There we go.
Questions, comments from Andrew. Really didn't give you a chance to say anything. Much of anything.
A couple things I'd like to say. First of all, as everybody else has said, congratulations on 200 episodes. I think it's a huge accomplishment, and I just want to thank all you guys for continuing to do this PolyCast. I know that I can probably speak for lots of other people when I say that I've learned a ton from listening to the PolyCast. It's made me a better Civ player, kept me informed of what's going on in the community with Firaxis. It's a really great asset to have, and it's really entertaining and fun to listen to. So thank you guys for doing that.
Dan, did you just bring us all onto the show to tell you good things? To make you feel warm and fuzzy?
That's all he wanted.
Not just.
We do need the positive reinforcement every once in a while because we don't get to hear it directly a lot.
I will say that on Civilization Fanatics in particular, but not just there, the 2K forums of Polton, We Play Civ players, we do receive compliments, and we even get feedback on our YouTube channel.
I'm sure that's very valuable.
It is, and emails as well, and the occasional voicemail that is not a wrong number. But it is appreciated when people let us know that they are listening. Now, it's true that I can look at download statistics all day, but it is nice when we have the interaction from
Download statistics do not give you a warm, fuzzy feeling. Even Dan.
Easy, Mackie, easy.
Not even.
No, but when we have the interaction with the audience, whether it's during the live stream or mostly comments after the fact in the post-produced version, it lets us know what we're doing well, what we're not doing so well, what people would like to hear. And we love getting feedback because it also helps me in choosing topics because it's like, oh, good, I don't have to spend the next 60 minutes going through Civ forums to find topics. People sent us topics. I love that.
So, Dan, do you love that?
I absolutely do. I love it with a capital L.
You guys cover the topics so intelligently. I think that's the thing that makes it so valuable is there's really critical thinking. When you guys are talking about strategy and talking about the history of civilization, you can tell that you guys are putting real thought into it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. It's not just a random fan podcast that's talking about, oh, I like this and I like this, and going on about that. I don't think you could actually make a substantive podcast last that long if it was just a fangasm. You know, the fact that you actually are dissecting and getting into the reads there, it's very helpful.
Sometimes it's so down there in the nitty-gritty that I have to even go back and listen to a piece of it again because sometimes what you're saying is so involved in such a subtle aspect of the gameplay that it takes a couple listens sometimes for it to sink in.
Well, it really does go into game strategy. I mean, it's not just like, look, here's the game, and we love it, and yay. It's like, here's this part of the game, here's how you can do this better, and I think it is really a great way to enhance everybody's game.
I would like to share my experience when I was on PolyCast. The episode was lovingly entitled Skip the Derp, and I was the derp, which is probably why I haven't been back on the PolyCast.
And then you got on to Turncast, and you let me call you whatever I wanted.
For entertainment purposes only.
I would never give the keys to that to Imagine. Or to myself, honestly, but I don't have to worry about that.
Going to say hello to Ariok, who was a guest on a Season 6 episode. Welcome back onto the show. How are you?
A bit of a cold.
Sorry to hear that.
But I'm surviving.
Questions, comments about 200 episodes of the show?
Well, congratulations. That's quite an achievement.
I really hope that the Civ community at large kind of values what it has in this network of podcasts because it definitely serves as a really great recruitment platform for people to get into not just the games, but to improve their game and also get out of the single-player pool and jump in the jacuzzi with everybody else.
Yeah, because that can be a little intimidating if you haven't done a lot of multiplayer and anything else before.
Yeah, I pretty much refused to do multiplayer strategy before and got pulled in by first Imagine and then by the rest of you, and I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, Dan himself had to be pulled in by MLS to even start playing multiplayer. And they were telling him, Dan, it's fun, come on. He's like, no.
So we're going to say goodbye to our guest co-hosts, the last of the rotational here. Thank you very much, gentlemen. So that's a thank you again to Axius.
Thank you for having me on again.
Fuzzy Fractal.
Bye. See you guys later.
Canis Albinus.
Bye. Thanks for the show.
Flower Packle.
Here's to another 200, guys.
Oy, oy, oy.
Fine, you get to co-host.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Dan, you have a new recruit.
And goodbye to Ariok IV.
Congratulations.
On episode 191, recorded and published in January of 2014, we looked at a pie chart published on the official Civilization Facebook page that looked to summarize what Civ players mean when they say, "one more turn." 5 years ago to that month, a one more turn logic flowchart noted in a thread on Civilization Fanatics Center was discussed as part of episode 60. It did not make the final cut of the episode, and, as this was before episodes were recorded live, it has not been heard by anyone except those who were on that episode's panel. In order, here's Kartamanua, Imran Siddiqui, Dan Q, that's me, Makalua, and Rough High.
On Civ Fanatics, Zebra9 put up a pic of the one more turn logic flowchart, and it says, "This for all the married people who don't know when they should stop playing Civ." And so it just asks, should I stop playing this game? And it goes through an incredibly long flowchart, but it's really funny. I thought the one that was missing, though, was, should I stop playing? Is your spouse home? Yes, no, whatever. Is your spouse home? Yes. How long have you already been playing? And it's like, have you already been playing most of the day? Because that's usually where we have the issues in our house. Like, you've been playing forever.
Yeah, I like the part where it goes, there are a few that I really like, because one is spouse mad yet? And it goes, yes. And it goes, threatened divorce mad or just mad? Threatened divorce mad. Stop playing.
That's my favorite part, too.
I like the, you work in the morning, yes. Sick days left. No. Vacations day left. Yes. Screw Disney World, keep playing.
It also needs a check in there for does spouse play Civ? If yes, invite some multiplayer.
You have to win them over, right? That's how my husband does it. Come on, you've been playing all day. Well, I just thought that you could play with me, and that we'd have fun, we could play together. Oh, for crying out loud.
I bet you that's not what you say.
I really do say that.
I saw this and I loved it. I said, is spouse home? Yes. Is spouse asleep? No. That's good. And I think if putting in your how long have you been playing, it wouldn't work in my household. Have you been playing 5 hours? Have you been playing 10 seconds? Wouldn't work. Same thing.
PolyCast's next full episode of archive segments, Not Just a Lame Clip Show 13, is to be released this summer. The PolyCast episode 200 celebration continues. Declassified bloopers from PolyCast.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear.
That I previously decided were too hot for public release. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Does anyone have any memorable names that they've given their units?
That we can say on air? No.
Wow. Cardamando has never said anything like that to me.
You're not married to her.
Yeah, you don't get the added bonuses.
Oh my god!
Well, since people say I haven't been talking enough, I'll do forum talk.
All right, and use your seductive voice when you do. We'll get more listeners.
No, that is not how she said it.
Say no again.
Apparently that works too.
Oh, there's this Calvin and Hobbes strip. Comic strip.
She said strip.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes, we need more female co-hosts. They have pleasant ways of making you talk.
This thread is not complete without a your mom joke.
All right, somebody put it in.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to take off now, and I think Phil has a thing. Have fun with your thing, Phil.
That was
Oh, thanks, my cute leave.
Because they're giving you opportunities to get some. Mind. Anyway, yeah, you can get some happy.
Now the elephants in the room are in the gutter. Audible face palm goes here.
You want a blooper reel? Here's your blooper reel.
Where we get to talk about how great PolyCast is, more than usual.
Plus all the champagne.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the one more turn pie chart and flow chart discussed earlier? Perhaps when some people say it, they're referring to the new Where Comedy Meets Drama podcast of the same name. Have a listen. Where comedy meets drama.
I'd like to return to the silent part of your involvement in this venture.
How do you manage to nerdify our geekdom with such reckless abandon?
It's not only nice guys that finish last.
From the creator of Age of Nations and co-creator of PolyCast comes a story about geeks dealing with non-geeky problems.
You're quite familiar with not thinking for many moments at a time.
What's too soon is you having the nerve to show your face anywhere near here.
You're not in this to think, you're in this to do.
We agreed to cut them out of the equation.
I told you I would reveal myself if and when I'm good and ready.
Why am I battling the lieutenant when I can take on the captain of this ship of lies and deceit?
One more turn. One more turn.net.
Call in today. In North America, the number is 301-637-7659.
That's 301-637-POLY.
In Europe, 44121-288-7659. That's 44121-288-POLY.
The only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about.
For more information on PolyCast,
Our sibling shows Modcast, Revcast, and Turncast,
or about PolyCast in general,
log on to the series' official website at thepolycast.net.
Just want to thank everybody once again for listening and participating in the 200th episode of PolyCast. I guess the really last thank you has to go to my fellow regular co-hosts, past and present, because if it wasn't for them, I truly would be talking to myself, and quite frankly, I do that enough already.
Ay, ay, ay.
Matt Jin, thank you for being on episode 200 of the show.
Okay, if you just want me on this episode, well, go back to being a co-host.
Man, you're so needy.
I know. Anyways, no, thanks for having the show, for managing to not go completely insane. I know you've gone slightly insane, but you've managed to keep it together long enough to keep the show going.
I will say PolyCast is the podcast that dares to say that we are like internet radio, only better. The Me and Team, Phil.
Well,
thank you.
I didn't go insane, but I actually joined the show already insane, so that's why I'm still here. But it's been a blast, of course. And onward we go.
Of course, swoon! Thank you very much, Mackie, for still being on PolyCast 200 episodes later and putting up with my idiosyncrasies, and for all of your contributions, past and present.
Send me more coffee. Well, if it wasn't at least interesting, none of us would still be here, and I'm pretty sure we were all insane to start this to begin with. So.
It is true. Now, do you want to again tell us that we're going to run out of things to talk about?
Ask me again after Beyond Earth if we don't get a Civ 6 announcement by then, because then we might get close to running out again. Because really, it was getting a little repetitive right there at the end with Civ 4 before we got an announcement for Civ 5.
That's what happens. I mean, we just need to convince Firaxis to time their releases when we start running out of material for the previous one. Or they have to just keep doing it and keep adding material for us to keep going until they're ready for the next one. I mean, if we start running out of topics for something, they have to release a DLC. That's it. New expansion.
It's a little known fact that the reason Beyond Earth is not being released this month is because Firaxis and 2K agreed to delay the release because it would coincide with the 200th episode of PolyCast. So sorry about that, Civ community.
You wish.
So, what brings you all to me?
We have all been talking, and we think that you might have a problem. So, we'd like for you to agree to enroll in the Civinon program, which is weekly meetings and a retreat in the woods for 6 weeks.
Not the woods that we've leveled to make more production shields, to create the Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
No, these are in New Jersey.
What's up with the camera?
Dude, I was planning to shoot this Civinon video that we spoke about your gaming addiction. Do you have 2 minutes to shoot it right now?
Do we have to do this right now, like in the middle of the turn here? I'm about to crash Napoleon with my Praetorian army. Check this out.
Dude, you're always in the middle of a turn.
Where did you get that banana?
I've got a plantation 2 squares from mighty Berlin.
I will offer you 5 gold for banana.
Per turn?
No, not per turn.
We could never accept such a deal.
Oh, that's a shame.
Hi, my name is Emma, and I'm a Civ addict.
Hi, Emma.
I used to have a job, but I vassalized my co-workers and led a revolution against my boss. 1 turn later, I was sacked.
Yeah, just 1 more turn, right? No harm there. Why not consider a diplomatic approach? Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, sort of deal? Unless iron pops up outside your borders and inside theirs, it tends to change things.
Yeah, it does. Perhaps I should get some sleep.
No. New Civ coming out. Gotta stay on top of your game.
I'm just talking to myself right now, aren't I?
Yep.
When I first met Brian, his attributes were creative and charismatic, but the deeper he falls into his addiction, he becomes aggressive and protective. He just won't let me in anymore.
I know he can do it. He's strong. He's much stronger than this game.
Oh my god, Indian trebuchets, man. Taking everything over.
Dude, what the hell is this?
Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, you should kind of clean up.
I'm fine.
Do you remember that time that you went dressed as Julius Caesar to that date?
No.
Very inappropriate.
I don't even know who.
It was the Ritz. You can't dress in toga to the Ritz.
It was a toga party, so it's allowed.
Nobody else had it.
Everybody else forgot their toga. I was the only one dressed appropriately.
At my lowest point, I was so involved in the game, Katrina took me by surprise. When the water was lapping at the seat of my chair, I thought, damn, I just wet myself again.
Just give me 1 more turn. I also need to deal with the copper embargo that Gandhi imposed on me.
1 more turn, 1 more turn. Stop, no more turns, dude.
Look who wants peace. How about your head with the glue on the end of the pole?
Have you even been listening to me?
Hey there, buddy.
Hey.
I thought you were asleep.
No, I'm just
it's...
playing society.
Did you sleep 6:30 in the morning?
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
You should turn that off and get some sleep, Al.
I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
This is really unhealthy. Turn it down. If you don't sleep, I never sleep.
Oh, okay, sure.
I don't think Civ's really negatively affected my life at all.
Then explain to me why your wife left you.
She was just being unreasonable.
I'm leaving.
Baby, stay. I'll give you money.
No.
I'll give you ivory.
No.
Steam power?
Okay, you're done. You're done. Get out.
What?
You're done. Get out.
No,
get out.
what's going on?
Play. You've been playing for 3 days in a row.
What's going on?
3 days in a row.
I can't live
Get out.
without
Get out. Get out. Get out.
No.
I'm Next Civilization Addict. I'm hoping that my testimony might help you in your struggles to overcome this affliction. It wasn't an easy path. It carried the same thrill as bombarding an enemy's capital with artillery while they had nothing but crossbowmen and pikemen to defend it. But I was finally able to find one thing that did carry that same je ne sais quoi.
You will not be playing Civilization 5.
I'm gonna publicly denounce you after this, man. Gonna get all my allies after you.
Oh man, look what we made me do. I set my army to the wrong tile.
Dude, I'm sick of you and your video games. Find yourself a new apartment and make yourself a biggest loser of the world, Wonder.
Hey, you wanna play multiplayer?
Screw you.
I've now been free of civilization for 5 months, and I'm about to complete my coup of Russia. So, if you find yourself in the same boat, unable to find anything else that will sate your hunger for conquest, then might I suggest attempting real world conquest.
That's a very big army you've got on my border there.
Yes, yes it is. All of the constructive criticism, positive feedback, everything. It has been a blast for 200 episodes. We're looking forward to continuing. I know on episode 50 we said, looking forward to 50 more, and on episode 100 we said looking forward to 100 more.
So 200 more?
Let's just say we're looking forward to more. I don't know. 200 is...
Let's not put a number on it. More, yes.
Goodbye, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
I've only been trying for 20 minutes, Mackie, trying to get to work what I had working last night.
Oh, that's what he said.
Thanks, Shen. Apparently we are evil for playing Europa. Oh, noes.
Yep.
Oh, noes. Mackie, we need a female presence in the Civ.
No, you can't have her.
No.
Wait, why does Phil get to answer that for me? Hang on.
Phil, your voice sounded very feminine there.
It's our turn. She doesn't get to decide.
You too.
Terrible.
The ultimate or super advanced version. They eventually ran out of adjectives because, how do you get past the ultimate version of something?
By completing it.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, are we still here?
Did we drop? Yeah,
he cut off completely.
Wait a minute.
Oh, sorry, Ed, can you start your sentence again? You dropped.
Yeah, I had a quick hiccup there, but so
that wasn't Kevin?
It's never Kevin.
Not officially.
Final word from Kevin.
We're not going to go. Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question? We have a cute kid running around, so we're all distracted.
Thank you all for those kind comments. Sorry for the slight awkward silence there.
Dan was getting emotional. He had to mute himself.
Yep.
Dan's blushing and doing the queen wave.
Hello. Thank you.
Then we've got Ixias and Fuzzy and Canis and Blower, who, because they're in the last time block here, they probably thought they weren't going to have to do a lot of work.
Saving the best for last.
Exactly. Although
No
it does raise the question of why we only had one appearance, Dan.
Yeah.
Always curious to see how they're going to work out terraforming, because it's like a sci-fi staple, but as far as a strategy game, that makes things really tricky.
You could terraform in Civ 2, which was a little out of place, but they offset it by making it extremely costly in turns, for example.
Yeah, you turned that desert into stuff, but it took forever.
Yeah.
Speaking of forever, we have the winners for the
show is still going.
All right.
Shoehorn accomplished.
Wow.
Man, what would we do without and segues?
Family Guy clip, copyright Fox. Chicago Fire clip, copyright NBC.
Wait, what was the intro thing again? Welcome to podcast, blah, blah, blah. What was that whole thing?
Yeah, that was about it.
Oh, that's about it. Okay.
Well, you might want to say it's episode 200, but I think most people know that. But yeah, still.
All right.
Civilization 4, 5, and Beyond Earth sound clips, copyright Take-Two Interactive. Civilization 1 and 2 sound clips, copyright Microprose.
See ya. We're out.
See your mom? What?
Gonna come see your mom. Wait, what?
She's not taking visitors.
Aw.
What, she's not taking visitors because she's not finished with the last one?
Oh, damn.
Oh, still busy.
Record date May 24th, 2014. Copyright Civilized Communication at civcom.net.